One-to-one consent is like the boogeyman to companies that depend on calling and texting leads hundreds of times a day. Whether your lead is hot or not, starting in 2025, you need to be ready to follow the new TCPA guidelines. For starters, legal jargon can be tough to parse. Yes, all the information is there, but what does it mean? We aren't lawyers, but we do have some awesome connections such as the TCPA World's team, and we've gone to events that specifically speak on this topic. Let's get into what we've learned. There are two main points that you need to focus on: one-to-one consent and third-party contacts. One-to-one consent means that when somebody submits a form that expresses interest in a service that you offer, they need to explicitly acknowledge that by signing or checking a box on a form that they can expect to receive information from you by text or a phone call. And yes, phone calls do need to meet these guidelines as well. This is not restricted to only text messaging. What happens when you've already had hundreds of thousands of leads already in your database? Are they safe to contact since you've got them before this law was passed or put in place? How about your customers that opted in over 18 plus months ago? Nope. If you continue contacting them the same way you've been trying to reach out after January of 2025, you will no longer be compliant and can be subject to thousands of dollars worth of fines per lead if you're caught. TCPA lawyers will be on the lookout for non-compliant companies, so it's best that you don't take the risks that are avoidable. It's also best that you do not assume that your lead aggregators are going to take care of compliant contacting on your behalf, since you're going to be the one paying the price if they make a mistake. Stick around to learn how to get your leads to re-opt in for contact. Now for the last part of the new lead laws. You're going to be competing with other lead-based companies fighting over a spot from lead aggregators. Starting in 2025, lead aggregators won't be able to sell leads to dozens of companies that are buying leads. They'll only be able to list at most a few that are explicitly stated in their forms. Each company will also need to be checked or signed off on individually by the lead filling out the form. For example, there may be 3 logos that appear at the bottom of a form requesting a bathroom remodel. Your lead can click on one of those to contact them, or all 3 of those to contact them. If you were a customer, how would you decide which company that you want to have reach out to you? That's what you're going to have to keep in mind in the way that you market yourself. Even if you have a great relationship with your aggregators and they put your company in every single form, do these leads know who you are? Do you have a good reputation? At the end of the day, how many companies do they want to be contacted by? There's a few ways to tackle these issues, starting with auto-dialing versus manual dialing. As you can expect, auto-dialing is the method that's going to be most impacted by these laws. Does that mean you need to contact all of your leads manually by calling them one by one? Yeah, you can do that. The same goes for text messaging. If you're reaching out to someone not from a texting platform and you're just contacting them direct, such as, "Hey, this is Robert from company name. You recently filled out a form saying that you want to install a new bathtub. Would you be able to chat about this more?" You can reply stop or opt out at any time to no longer receive text messages. If you're a small company, you may be able to get by with this solution. Now for companies that are operating under a franchise. Under TCPA's new one-to-one consent rule, the specific company operating a franchise must be named on the consent form, and the consent obtained for that specific franchise cannot be used by other entities, even those that are within the same franchise system. An example would be if Channel Automation LLC is operating a Renewal by Andersen franchise in Diamond Bar. A consumer must explicitly consent to be contacted by Channel Automation LLC under Renewal by Andersen in Diamond Bar. This consent cannot be used by the parent company, aka Renewal by Andersen. It cannot rely on the consent given to the specific franchise. The consent also can't be used by other Renewal by Andersen franchises. Each franchise operates as a separate legal entity. Consent given to one franchise is not transferable to another, even if they're under the same brand. I know, that's a lot of information, but what can we say? We're thorough. Let's talk about how to overcome everything that we've talked about so far. The best way to get your leads to re-opt in to remain compliant under one-to-one consent laws is to act as quickly as possible, reaching out to your database. We handle this on your behalf at Channel Automation and make sure all your database and old clients are sent to a page that gives you permission to remain in touch with them. We can explain more in detail about how that works by chatting with you directly. We've also been keeping track of these leads long before everyone else started to sound the sirens. That's why we've partnered with big lead publishers, leaders in compliance, and aggregators such as Stone Canyon AI, BuyerLink, active prospect, and more to ensure that your source of leads are checked through and safe for you to contact. Working with us means access to these companies too. For more information, contact us and set up an appointment through the links and phone numbers in the description. Let's chat soon.